watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire tourism community. And I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And together we are...
Real Break.
And it is Friday night, Jean-Paul. Black Friday for every single one of you buyers out there. Hope you all do fine. And like Jean-Paul was mentioned, this is a show that it was actually kind of watchable. It kind of like some kind of like good points, like things that like we are getting behind to. So it wasn't a terrible edition of Are You Ready for Some Bullshit?
Yeah, they must have had a Black Friday sale and all the bullshit, and it must have got bought out because this show was actually pretty good. There was a little bit of bullshit. There was some on the shelves. People are cautious because of COVID, so not all the the deals sold. So there was a little bit of bullshit here, but this was overall a pretty good episode with a good main event. Good match in the middle, but with tag team division and our glorious tag team champs. No, they're not the glorious because they'll never win the tag team champs. But our tag team champs, Street Profits. There was still a little bit of bullshit.
Yeah, like some redeeming points and still some points that need to be worked on. Like not terrible show. Absolutely agree with you, Jean-Paul. But before we do that, like always, don't forget to check Jean-Paul and myself talking about NXT UK. A-Kid wins the Heritage Cup. It was a pretty good match. I'm a little bit like happy that I actually chose the right guy. But I feel a little bad for Trent Seven because he should have won this thing. And look at this. He's not even happy in the picture. He's like, so I just won. But like Jean-Paul actually like tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, if Trent Seven, if he turns heel and they do something good with him, then I'm okay with it. And if A-Kid gets a push coming out of this, I'm fine. But that's the thing I want to see. Like, what does this Heritage Cup mean? Or is it something like they don't talk about it now until next year? You know what I mean? Like, until it's like, oh, yeah, now it's a year anniversary when we did the tournament. So I want to see what they do.
We don't hear about it and then the winner. Like, if they, I agree. I agree with you. I think that, like, it should always come with, like, some kind of, like, an opportunity for a championship. That's at least for me. But let's talk about the show. So, of course, like the first 5 minutes are the same 5 minutes that we've seen throughout the last 3 or 4 weeks of SmackDown, and it's like Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. He has to open the show. I don't like this. I don't know what it is, but like every time like that this happens in this kind of fashion, I want to fall asleep. And I think that I don't know why, but it's just terrible. I don't like this, because this main story is always this. So I want your thoughts on this.
Yeah, well, Jay comes out, and, he's just, of course, talking about from Survivor Series, how Roman, beat Drew McIntyre, and I think they showed, like, a little, like, scenes from that and everything, and, of course, Jay's just like, yeah, we beat him, Oos, and all that other stuff, and it's just, the typical shit that we see each and every week from this feud, and, and it's I don't know. I guess it's the best thing on SmackDown, but not for me. I'm not really into it too much. And then you see in the picture here, Roman Reigns came out, and he actually, got up to Jey Uso, and you thought, okay, him and Jey are gonna be good now because Jey helped him in the match, but he actually like flips the script and he goes, I didn't need your help out there. What happened at the Survivor Series match? Why did you guys lose? And he's like, oh, so, and he's like, you lost because, they don't respect you because, they don't fear you. And if they don't fear you and respect you, they don't respect me. They don't respect the family. So it was the same shit. It's the same, it's like you said, it's the same thing we've been hearing the last 3-4 weeks. And, where are they going with it?
He also says this, Jean-Paul. He said, if I wouldn't be the head of the family, I would just be like another bitch wishing, everybody happy Thanksgiving. And if they look at me like this, like they will be looking like the way they look at you, Jay, your kids, your family. I think I deserve, being happy, I deserve to be happy, right? And it says, like, how do you think I look, Jean? Because the truth is that I feel, like I actually feel all your failures, and I don't like to feel that way. So it's like you said, it's kind of like flipping the whole story. He's making Jay feel even worse. So, the narrative is there, but I just don't understand why they have to keep using this when Roman could be just portrayed like a better heel without like exposing Jay that much. Because you even said that like Jay at the beginning of this thing looked kind of decent, He looked just like the sidekick of Roman. But now it's just like, you're a fucking idiot, and I can just do with you whatever the hell I want.
Yeah, and especially because insulting him like that sets it up that you would think it would be like Buddy Murphy, and he would turn babyface and turn on Roman at the end of this thing, but he started out the feud against Roman. So what, is he going to be against Roman? then with Roman, and then go against them again. To me, that doesn't make any sense.
Yes, and then for example they left, and then Jay was like just pretty much like in shock. He's like all holding his face. He's like no, like he feels like okay, like kind of like a father or like a best friend, like like being like this, like so. It is like when you and me like just watch a terrible show, mostly WWE or sometimes AEW every now and then. So like he's like so, and then all of the anger that he has like is contained because Otis is about to come out. He's going to have a match against Baron Corbin or King Corbin, and Jay pretty much lashes it out. He loses it, and then he starts beating the crap out of Odie, like like the chair, and then he's like start like like outside of the ring. Like you see how Jay Uso pretty much lost it. And I mean, like I want to say rightfully so, because how will you feel if you get insulted like this? If somebody,
I mean, you would think you would take it out on the guy who's insulting you. Then that just proves that he is Roman's bitch. He is Roman's lackey. He is everything that we've all been saying. But the person I feel bad for the most here is Otis.
Yeah,
like this. If anything, this should have been a match like a scheduled 24/7 champion. Oh, I mean, I know that's on Raw, but like just some kind of bullshit jobber match.
Yeah,
it shouldn't have been like Otis. Like Otis is a guy who eventually could maybe go against Sami Zayn or something for the Intercontinental Championship, because since he's in a singles role now, it's like, but no, he instead comes out here and he looks like an idiot.
And like
Shorty G's like
and then like not a happy Otis. So like this doesn't look good for him. And like you said, I just want him to get back the Money in the Bank. It's never gonna happen, but I just feel really disappointed about that. Because, like I said, I saw like a potential really great story, really like kind of like a Daniel Bryan, but like a little more funny, comedic. You know what I'm trying to say with that. You know where I'm trying to go with this. And now he just goes to being like a nobody. And Shorty G or like not Shorty, but Chad Gable is a great wrestler. But that like they're never gonna like give him a shot.
No, and they're not putting these guys in the tag division either. It's not like these two guys are going against they should have been in the matchup that we're gonna talk about next, but no, they just put them in singles role, and it doesn't make any sense.
So yeah, like I said, well, not a great opening segment. Roman and Jay's just like story that it just keeps going. Like to me, it's going into the point of the Mysterios, but without the fun stuff that we saw throughout the whole story with Seth Rollins and the Mysterios, and Buddy Murphy and all of that. Like you said, tag team action. Street Profits going against Bobziegler and Bobby Roode. This was a pretty decent match. Like, I finally like the fact that, like, Roode and Ziggler won. I just want to see them as champions because at least they're heel. And I just feel that, like, they're such good athletes, but they're always portrayed like a fucking idiots. They're always portrayed like losers. They never get anything. So, like, Street Profits, I just don't want to have the titles anymore, at least for me.
Yeah, no, the titles definitely got to, get off the Street Profits. But if you think about it, okay, you have the Street Profits, you have Cesaro and Nakamura, and then you have Ziggler and Roode. You only have one legit tag team on, your tag team roster here on SmackDown, because all the other tag teams are singles guys. Then you look at the other potential one that I had previously mentioned, Chad Gable and Otis, two other singles guys. So it's none of your tag teams are actual tag teams.
Yes.
So I guess it makes sense that the Street Profits have it, but no, I agree. You need another team to come in there and take the titles off them just to make it feel fresh. They've held, or they've had a championship reign, even though this is a different brand, for a long time now, and to me, they're stale. So
we just switch brands. You want to have them, since you have a championship and I have one, you want to just switch them up? Yeah, sure, why not? Here. Yeah, and then all of a sudden we became, different champions from different brands. I just don't like that, and I agree with you. The crisis of the lack of tag teams is like suffering in NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, because something that you have mentioned before many times, WWE does not care about tag teams. So I will go to AEW, to Impact. Can you give me like FTR again? Can you give me the North? Can you give me, AJ, what is it, like Swaggle Styles? And, all of those guys. Somebody that is going to make me feel this, this division feel fresh. But at least we got a good roll-up. Montez Ford, like, he always looks good, like you said. Like, he has a bright future. Dawkins is decent, at least. And they weren't overbearing, at least, in this show. So I like that. And Bobby Roode got the win for, like, their heel team. So like, you see a potential tag match for what is going to be TLC. At least I think that's
yeah, and if they do this, because they were before this, of course, it was kind of like the Hurt Business bitching. Oh yeah, we deserve a match, blah blah blah. Of course, this wasn't for the titles, but if they do this at TLC and they also do the Tag Team Championship match on Raw, if they do both of these at TLC, you need to switch the titles. You can't have these match at pay-per-view and have both these teams retained because then you're really trying to turn the fans against these teams because people are just sick of them.
Yes, and like remember, like they will be like the same thing that they did to Andrade and also Angel Garza. It's
yes,
like, kill these guys, absolutely kill. Remember, like every single like pay-per-view.
Yeah, we kept saying we're like, no, we kept saying they're gonna win this one. No, they gotta win, and they never won.
Yeah, and they never did. So that's a big problem that they had. So like hopefully in this one they actually do the change. So like actually we can start 2021 fresh and good. So now let's gonna go to like this was the best match of the night, like a good feud. And you always say this: if they allow our IC champion Sami Zayn to have a match and actually wrestle, is gonna be great. And this time was. Daniel Bryan said like Sami Zayn is a fool for thinking that he's the best IC champion in history. And this night I'm gonna destroy every single one of his illusions or his dreams. So good promo by Daniel Bryan, and I like this. Pretty good. And what do you think about this match?
Yeah, I really like this match. This is definitely the best match of the night. The main event was pretty good, but this one I think was better just because, like you said, it's so nice to see Sami Zayn actually wrestle. And Daniel Bryan's one of those guys who he can have a good match with anybody. Like he's really talented in so many different styles. It doesn't matter whether it's like lucha, hard hitting, submission, whatever. He can work that style, and him and Sami Zayn looked really good in this. And this was one of those things where it was anybody's ball game. It was It's like it was like, the Great Liberator. Is he gonna lose? Is Fidel? Is it done?
Fidel never loses. Yeah.
Yeah, but no. I mean, this is they're really doing Sami Zayn. I don't want to say they're doing him justice, but compared to how that they've portrayed him before in his previous, main roster years, they're really doing him justice here. They're giving him good wins as his heel character. Because, he hit the Blue Thunder Bomb. Daniel Bryan kicked out of that. So it was just like, what's he going to need to put him away? I don't think he hit the Haluva kick.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I don't think he hit it. But at the end of the thing, I like when they're outside. And then how pretty much just how the match ended. It was he made it back in right at, as the 10 count. So he won by count out. And, that was... Yeah, and then you have the picture there too. You had him in the yes lock and everything, but he got out. I mean, it was good for Sami Zayn to win in that fashion. I liked it, and Daniel Bryan looks strong. Whether they want to move him on to something with which kind of what we saw after this match, maybe to the main event with Roman Reigns. Who knows? But this was good for Sami Zayn.
Yes, and also like remember how he said before the match, he's like, well, it's really crappy that they make me wrestle the day after a holiday. I wasn't ready for this. So you kind of like see like
oh yeah, he's great. Sami Zayn's so great.
The promo ability, the concept of it, the theme, how he delivers every single line. For example, how about this? Daniel, you had a chance to face me for this championship at WrestleMania and I beat you, and now I'm on, and you're trying to sabotage this run for me. So like all of this, the kind of like delivery that he has is really good. Like you said, he gets the win. It's important. And later on after the match, we kind of saw like what will be like the main theme of the show, because Jey Uso was attacking Daniel Bryan one more time. And like I just like this shows you where the paths are going to go. At least for me, like you saw how like Daniel Bryan is right there standing, and then you saw Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens kind of came to the rescue. So, like, you will kind of, like, had a little bit of, like, an idea of what was going to happen. So now, Jean-Paul, let's go before that. Let's go to a preview of your guys or my guys. And are they heel? Are they face? The Mysterious. Ray, like, looking, like, finally, like, a good mask. And, Aaliyah, and, like, with Buddy Murphy and Dominic. And we get to, like, they ask, Kayla Braxton is asking Mysterio, how is he doing? And all this thing we said. And Mysterio said what Seth did to us it can never be forgiven, but we say finally thank you, and we put that timer away from us, and now Murphy is part of like he realized that like Seth Rollins is a piece of trash. So we got to see Baron Corbin after that, and he demands a match, with Buddy Murphy. So this for me is like a little like cringy, just because like really I don't want to see Murphy against Baron Corbin, just because it's like. Kind of he was heel maybe like 2 weeks ago, and Baron Corbin is just overbearing for me. the style that they give this guy is just terrible. I mean, talented, I'll say that every single time, but never can get any meaningful storyline. Can you tell me a time that Baron Corbin had a meaningful storyline?
Yeah, I mean, the only legit feud, and I shouldn't even say legit, but the only feud that comes to mind is the one with Roman Reigns, and that's just because it was like 7-8 months long.
Yeah.
That's the only feud I can remember. I mean, and the one with Seth Rollins when he hit the end of days on Becky Lynch, just because that was badass. But, I mean, other than that, no. And, you know, I agree with you. He had this match, and the match was pretty decent, like, besides kind of just like the storyline, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, that, you know, the interference, rather, that was going on in this match. But, you know, it was good, but I agree. Baron Corbin, they need to change up his gimmick. The whole King thing is just done to me.
You know, see, they came out like this, old friends, and you know, this is you coming out.
Is this the Nightmare Family?
Yeah, yeah. You know, like I'm Mysterio because, of course, I'm the shorter one of all of them.
Okay, I guess I'm the gringo.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, you have the hot chick. You know, that's legit.
Oh, okay, well, that's legit.
And that's fine. You know, that's fine. As long as it stays in the family, I'm cool. So, like, yeah, they have a good match. I just don't know, but like you said, like, do we have heels in the Mysterios now? What's going on?
Yeah, because they kept jumping up on the apron, and it was like when Ray did it, Ray kind of looked like so, but like when Dominic did it, he was like smiling and like he kind of had like this look on his face, like you don't know. See, that would be a feud where I don't know, maybe they have Dominic break away, and then it's just like he kind of has matches against Murphy, matches against his dad. I don't know, you know, I don't know what they're gonna do. And then maybe they'll bring back Rollins, because Rollins isn't going to be out for a long time, I don't think. Okay, he'll be out for a couple weeks, you know. Then, okay, Becky, you and the baby, you're good. Okay, the baby has a tit. Okay, now I got to go back and wrestle.
Yes.
No, I don't think he'll be out as long as... He'll be back before Becky. So, So maybe him and Dominic team up, you know. That would be something kind of cool to see. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I could definitely see Dominic turning heel. I feel like it's a little early in his career, but I don't know what else to say when they're causing interference in this match. And even commentary is kind of making Corbin seem like the babyface after this thing is over.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's like, I don't know why they will do that, just because I don't think that he can hold his own, just as heel. He still need like the dad, like the Mysterio's like presence.
That's what I mean. So if they do turn him heel, he's got to team up with a returning Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and then like we saw in the picture, like King Corbin demanded like to restart the match, or like I said, next week we're gonna have a new match. You know, we're gonna have the rematch once again, just to like prove who's the best man. And you know, we got to see this picture, see all of them having fun and like just like screwing with Corbin. And like I said, like I don't know if they're heel, I don't know if they're face. But like it was different to see the Mysterio.
Yeah, now if Corbin would have like, and I think he beat Rey Mysterio to qualify for the team, but it's not like he cheated, or it's not like he, you know, it's not like he did some dastardly method and like captured Mysterio's wife or something like that to get. So it's not like they're getting revenge on him. That's why I didn't understand this. So well, I guess we'll see next week.
Yeah, like I don't really understand where was this going.
Yeah, this was weird to me.
Well, a little weird just because of the fashion that it was done. But like I said to you, you know, this is like what the story that we have like right now, kind of like the mid-card feud. I will say like the second main story in importance. But now we're gonna go back to once again to Roman, because Roman is pissed because of the thing that happened with Kevin Owens, and he's talking to Jay right there. And he's like, well, you know, like, you can clearly see that Kevin Owens doesn't respect me, so you gotta do something about it, because Kevin Owens goes and says, you know, I'm not gonna allow they just jump on my friends. Oh no, so now we know that Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens are friends. You see what I mean? It's like, I'm not gonna allow this, you know, and I'm gonna prove that your Samoan family is trash. So you see Kevin Owens kind of face, but in a heelish kind of fashion, or, you know, kind of like Stone Cold way. And then, like I said, Roman once again was like, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to do something about it? And he goes, fix this, Jean Paul. So you see, like, so,
fix this, oos.
Yeah, fix this, oos. I can't, the head of the table, like, I will never buy a Roman's t-shirt, but I mean, that looks good.
That was everybody yesterday eating Thanksgiving food.
Yes,
the head of the table.
That's absolutely right. So you see, like, they set up this for the main event. So this was going to be the main event, Kevin Owens against Jey Uso. So, I mean, I don't like the fact that like throughout the whole show you gotta give me the main event. I kind of like how Dynamite.
Yeah, I don't like that logic because that proves if you look at it from a standpoint of just like in a world of kayfabe, if Jey Uso didn't have a meltdown and beat up Daniel Bryan, then we'd have no main event for this show.
Yes, and that's
so you know what I mean. So it's like that's what doesn't make any sense.
Yes, exactly. Like it tells you, like it's like like we book the show as we go.
Yeah.
And then that's how now the show should be. You know how like Impact, like Dynamite, other shows.
Well, you got to think if this show was advertised like a show that like fans could walk in off the street, you would have to have a poster. Oh, what's your main event? The main event is let's see if Jey Uso attacks somebody.
Yes, or like he has a meltdown and then from there. So let's talk about like women's action. Bianca Belair against Natalya. This was a pretty quick, semi-decent match. It's just to like once again keep like hyping up Bianca Belair, keep promoting her. Keep making her looking good, and Natalya has always been good at this. Make all this.
Yeah, and the main story also here was Bayley was on commentary, and of course at the end of the match, because you said the match wasn't very long. Bayley was just kind of getting her spiel over on commentary, and then towards the end, she hops up on the apron, gets involved, and Bianca still gets the win, but. She knocked. I think she knocked Natalya into Bayley, Then that pretty much this is going to be the next feud. This is going to be a legit feud because Bayley, she had that that awesome title reign. She'll have no problem putting Bianca Belair over in this feud, and then that just gets Bianca Belair, I think, ready for either a Royal Rumble win or maybe a feud against Sasha right away. We'll see, but I'm excited for this feud with Bianca and Bayley. But I mean, to this match, what you said. It was what it was. It was just to get Bianca to look strong.
Oh, yeah, like exactly.
But, I mean, it does, to be devil's advocate and speak on the other side, it does suck for Natalya because I do think she is really good, but she's kind of just in that spot now. It's just, it sucks, but I guess it is what it is.
Somebody has to do the work, right?
Yeah.
Somebody has to be the one that like gets like the bullets or sacrifices for everybody else. And talking about sacrificing people, we got to see like maybe the path that like our liberator Fidel Castro is gonna go. And I'm not liking this at all because like you just saw like Big E and Apollo playing backstage. They were just like they didn't book.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know what this was. I saw Kalo was in the ring, tight shirt, tight pants, and then I saw these two muscular guys come up and they're like, oh yeah. Well, what kind of video am I watching here?
And that's why Sami walked over. He's like, are you guys gonna like film some razors here or like?
He's like, what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? Like Bang Bros. Like he's like, what's going on? Let's see. Okay, no, it's not Bang Bros. Thankfully, so he's just like saying like Sami says that he beat Daniel Bryan in 10 seconds in the same fashion that he beat Apollo. So and then Big E kind of gets in his face and he's like, well, it only will take a little whisper of mine. So all your dreams will like vanish. So
I love when Sami says to Big E, he's like, listen, you remember the last time you held this belt? He's like, nobody does because it was a bullshit title reign. It was insignificant. Like, it didn't matter. And then he's just, So like you said, it's definitely he's getting under Big E's skin. And this is going to be the next feud. And if it is, this will be the one. I got to put all the chips into Big E. I don't think that they're going to have Big E lose, but if Sami Zayn would win this feud, then they're really pushing Sami Zayn. So this kind of scares me because I'm a fan of the Liberator, but we'll see where they go.
And especially, look, he's actually taller than Big E. So, he's only like Big E is a little just heavier or like more.
Yeah.
I see Sami Zayn is actually taller than him. And I hope that, like, if that's the push where they're gonna go with Big E, I don't want him to be at Sami's expense. I don't think that it should happen that way. I think that like if they're gonna do something with Roman. I would much rather see that, and I will believe that like a big, more muscular guy, a guy that can take 2 or 3 guys at the same time, can go against Roman rather than Jey. The thing with Jey is like you said.
Well, maybe that's because they're like, if Big E goes against Roman, he loses, and if he goes against Sami Zayn, he wins, and we want Big E to win. So yeah, I think that's their logic because obviously they're not. It's like, well, why don't you just put him over Roman? No, we can't do that.
Exactly. No, we're not going to do that. So talking about kind of like the feuds that need to be established a little more, they need to just like finally, being set up. Carmella, like he's like, got tired of pleasing my fans. I want things done my way, and now I'm the one that like call the shots, and the jokes are over, Sasha Banks. But this time, instead of being untouchable, Sasha actually got back at her. The boss showed up and like Jean Paul.
Oh yeah, I like this promo actually by Carmella. I like the intensity. She sounded more like legit, more confident, almost like Sasha Banks, like a different, like a version of her. You know what I mean? Just that attitude. When Carmella would cut a promo, it was almost like Liv Morgan, where like you could tell she was a little nervous. You could tell there wasn't like the confidence wasn't there. But this was good, and I like at the end where she's like, I get whatever I want, and all this stuff, and she snaps her fingers, and then like nothing happens, and it's like and then she snaps her fingers again. And then it's Sasha, and then Sasha punches her out. I mean, that was good, and that sets up the feud. Makes me think of like an Attitude Era thing. Like a beatdown during an interview segment, and then the camera's all shaky, and they're like, "I'm going to kick your ass next week," and all this stuff. So this was good. I like this feud, and again, this will be the feud that will probably take place the same time the Bianca Belair Bayley feud takes place, and when the one is over, the next one will begin. So
and that's good because you're setting up your pipeline. You're setting up what's going to come next. And see, like we always mention this, that like you have to have that number one contender. You should know in your head, hey, who could be next? Mm-hmm. I like this.
And then if you got to think, because there's no tag team division for the women really on SmackDown. There's no mid card feuds or anything for the women. So these are the two women's feuds in the whole division on SmackDown. To me, those two feuds are better than really almost everything else for the men.
Everything else in the show. Yeah, we've said this before. The women are actually like the ones that redeem the whole show for us because again, Roman and this thing is just unbearable. Talking about unbearable, let's talk about Jey Uso against Kevin Owens. The match quality, excellent. I like super kicks. Like I think that like Kevin Owens does a better super kick than Jey. Jey, like I don't know if you noticed.
But that's his whole gimmick. Don't tell him that.
I mean, but like I don't know if you notice how the foot is like twisted a little bit, like when he delivers the super kick, while Kevin is actually completely straight. There's a twist, and like you said, sometimes Jey doesn't even connect when he hits the super kick.
Yeah, well, some people do that weird. It's like they do it completely behind them, and like you said, they curl their leg like behind their back, and some people do it almost like a karate kick, like straight out. So
Yes.
I like how Sean, like Sean always did it, like straight out. Yeah, not the curl behind. Yeah.
I talking about that is I like how like the Street Profits call like Dolph Ziggler Shawn Michaels or something.
No, yeah.
Like a Shawn Michaels wannabe. But like, see, like in the end, like there was no winner in this, but like because Jey actually pulled out the chair, and he got himself disqualified because like he's actually like really upset that like he couldn't put down Kevin Owens. So I was thinking to myself, it's like 9:54, 9:55. Hey, like it's like gonna be like Jey Uso like standing tall, and that's gonna be the end of the show. But absolutely not. No, actually, Kevin Owens got more offense on him, so that was good. He got him back, and I like that.
Yeah, I really like this match too. I mean, both these guys beat the hell out of each other. It was a really good match. This was the second, close choice of mine for the best match of the night, but I still got to go with the Great Liberator, and Daniel Bryan. But this was a close second, and the story, it was just like, Kevin Owens' left arm, it was done because he went for the pop-up powerbomb, couldn't hit it, and then he couldn't really hit the stunner, and then it's like, it's done. Like you'd mentioned, you got the chair. Beat the shit out of him. And I thought, because Jey kind of cleared off the table, I thought he was going to do Uso splash to Kevin Owens through the table. And I thought, like, oh, man, this is going to be shit. Because, I mean, Kevin Owens should go over in this. He should look strong. Yes. And then they're like, okay, Jean-Paul, don't worry, we got you. Because then Kevin Owens fought back. He got the chair like you see in that picture, beat the shit out of Jey, threw him over the announce table, eventually hit the stunner and everything. And, I love this picture. Look at Paul Heyman's face.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like waiting for Roman to like punch him out, and like kick. He's like, please, like Roman, please don't like kill me. But I mean, this was good, and I love the intensity of Owens. And he sits in a chair. He puts it at the end of the announce table, so he's sitting technically at the head of the table. He's like, I'm not scared of you, Roman. I don't respect you. I don't fear you. Why don't you come out and fight me and all this stuff? He stands on the table. He's like, I'm right here. Come out, fight me. And then. I think I'd say that he does hit the stunner somehow. Yeah. I guess his left arm feels fine. Yes. So then he hits the stunner on Jey Uso, even though he couldn't do it in the match. But he hits it. But this was good. And if this is the feud, I like it. I mean, I would love it more if Kevin Owens would win this feud. I don't see that happening, but hey, a man can dream.
Oh, hey, absolutely. If a man doesn't dream, he's not a man. Like that. And like you said, it's just like it's good to see the Kevin Owens that can be healed, that can win matches, that can
I don't even say this is healed. This is just that legit and we say this is always the best Kevin Owens, where he has that badass, like, and we always use Stone Cold. I mean, he uses the stunner, so we'll just use that comparison, but that kind of attitude.
Yes.
I mean, but he's still babyface because, oh, you beat up my friend Daniel Bryan, so now I'm going to avenge him. That's babyface. A heel, if John Morrison got his ass kicked, you think The Miz is going to go out there and defend his honor? No. So,
no.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's still babyface, and I like this, but if he doesn't beat Roman, then it'll be the same thing when they always portray him like this. He has the momentum, then he loses the momentum, and then he turns bullshit.
Yeah, and so
and also commentary was saying how Kevin Owens is like, oh, he's so legit. They're talking about how he's a family man and stuff. So clearly they're portraying him as like a baby face.
And like you said, I feel that actually, remember the report said that Daniel Bryan will be the one challenging Roman at TLC. It seems most likely that it's going to be Kevin Owens. So things have changed a little bit. In the WWE, change happened on the fly. Thank you, Vince. So I feel that, this is much better than Daniel Bryan. Maybe save Daniel Bryan for WrestleMania, like you mentioned, Royal Rumble. Like those big pay-per-views. Use Daniel Bryan for this.
Wouldn't that be 2 Royal Rumbles in a row? Daniel Bryan had a championship match.
Yes, yeah, because like this year we covered it. It was against the Fiend, so it would be cool. I don't know if he's going to win or not, but this at least Kevin Owens. What you and me have been saying for the past week is like, where is Kevin Owens? Why is he not in a good story? Why can't he have a good feud? Why can't they give him like a good story so he can work with? There you go. This is your story. You're going to be feuding against Roman. This is so much better than Jay. So much better. Any single angle that you want to see it, any single circumstance that you want to see it, this is so much better. I'm so behind this. And like you said, if you want to dream, I'm going to dream a little bigger. Like, hopefully he takes away the title. There was a report that the plan is not for Roman to retain for a long time. Give it to Kevin Owens. I'm so for that. Give this man. Remember, the last time he had the Universal Championship was 3 years ago. Give him another shot.
No, I agree. I just hope that they don't bring Goldberg back again to take it away from him.
Well, if that's the case, then they're going to bring Le Champion because he was the one that involved in all that feud. But, thank you, Jean-Paul, for all of this. Thank you, family, for watching the video. This is all the review for you guys. Just do me a favor. Remind everybody where they can find us.
Well, you can find us on Facebook on Rope Break, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and, of course, right here on YouTube for the home of the #1 podcast, the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
Thank you so very much. And tomorrow we're going to have, always something special that we do. So stick around with us, family. So you and me have one more thing that is left to say. That is...